with athleticism or is, an elite level dude. He's not an elite. Lomax
Mm-hmm.
is not an elite level dude. So you got to run some. Now, again, you're sitting there with a pick and roll
Mm-hmm.
with Precious. That's perfect.
Yes.
Like, why are you not running that 100 times? If you run the pick and roll, CJ.
Okay.
Okay, so you can run it top pick and roll. You can run side pick and roll, whatever you want to do. Now you can run that, and you can pop out with
Mm-hmm.
Precious if you want. Precious is capable of driving the ball on a closeout,
Mm-hmm.
or being decent enough as a shooter that
You have to respect the
you have
threat
to
of the
respect
three.
the threat of
Yeah.
the three. Or you can then roll him to the basket, which they did from time to time. He is extremely athletic.
Mm-hmm.
You throw him the ball, and he will dunk it or do something good with it, in all likelihood. Or you can roll into a post, which you see a lot as well. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe he's not rolling directly to the basket. Maybe you run that to kind of flow into a post up situation where then you angle the ball out to the corner, and then maybe you have that post entry pass from there, or maybe you do the post entry pass from the elbow extended or wherever it may be. Point being, you got to run through this guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is your dude. He got 22 and 11 and 5 blocks in this game. He's done that now 2 games in a row where he's had 20, 10, and 4 blocks or more. That's only happened now. I looked it up this year. It's only happened about 25 times, and he's got 2 of them.
Mm.
He's real good.
You don't say.
So you should probably use him. Any possession where the guards just run some nonsense and then kick it out is a wasted possession.
Mm-hmm.
But there doesn't seem to be a lot of intent with this offense that I can tell. There doesn't seem to be a lot of like plan out, like here's our flow, here's our guy that we're gonna emphasize. It just sort of seems like we're gonna spread, we're gonna try to go 1-on-1, and then we're gonna try to kick out, and that's not a plan.
A wise man once said, "Don't mistake activity for achievement." And
Mm-hmm.
they're active. Like I said, they're
Mm-hmm.
fast in the half court. They are moving, but they're not really applying any pressure on the defense. And a lot of that, to your point, Peter, is because they aren't running these sets for the right guy, and they're not running sets to highlight the skills of the other players. Like, I refuse to believe that Boogie is the one that decommitted from Duke, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to believe that Boogie, a former Duke commit, is this.
Is this bad?
Is this. Like, you've got to run things that highlight what your players are good at. I think the coaching staff, Penny Hardaway, and the coaching staff have drawn a line in the sand. Damn it, this is how we're going to play. We're going to run up and down. You're going to come here. You're going to run up and down. But they don't have the players with the ability to play that way effectively. So as a coach, I think this is time for you to take a step back and reassess what you have in these players and how you can get the most out of them. You're not getting the most out of Damian or Boogie. You just aren't. And those guys were 2 of the recruits coming in who we expected to ball out. Like, none of these dudes expected to be here multiple years, 2, 3 years. All of them expected, not necessarily one and done, but like this thing breaks the right way.
Like one and
we're
done.
we're one and done.
Yeah.
We're out. We're gone. And looking at them, watching them play, be it Lester or Boogie or Damian, you're like, no, you're gonna be here for a while, man. I hope you still going to classes because nobody's gonna draft you. Welcome back, sophomore year. And that's
They're going to
crazy
be going
to
pro
me.
in something other than sports.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
All right.
At this
All
point.
right. And unless Penny finds a way to utilize them and highlight what they can do, that is exactly what's going to be the case.
Let's go to our First Bank phone lines and talk to Melvin. Melvin, good morning.
What up, Melvin?
Hey, how y'all guys doing today?
What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, if they would have lost that game yesterday, it would have been a catastrophic loss. I mean, how this offense going? I've been saying it for a while. He was on the pace to head down and start faster path. When you get these players and you just let them, it's like you let them do what they want to do. It's nothing organized.
Mm-hmm.
And like yesterday, man, they would have lost that game, man. Boy, with the penny cane coach and the 5 penny and the overrated, all the ESPN guys, man, they would have been out in Woodward. But like I said, Precious, you got to go to the guy like the team was done because you're supposed to make Lomax shoot the shot. Just go on the screen.
Yep.
They had any common sense. And DJ Jeffers, he hadn't looked good. You remember the beginning of the year, he came off the bench and he looked good because he's like, you really can't play him in Precious. Penny style DJ at a 3. DJ Jeffers is not a 3. On a college level, most teams play 4 guards, and every game, you get 2 fouls, you sit him out the whole first half.
That's Melvin. That's a good point. The thing that frustrates me is that he goes to the lineup. Penny goes to the lineup late and basically throughout the entire second half, more or less, except for a few little moments. Precious is your 5. I know he doesn't want to be the 5 or whatever. Like, you want to play him as a 4. You don't have James Wiseman. So the other dudes that you would play in that spot, whether it's Lance Thomas, whether it's Dandridge, whether it was Isaiah Maurice, there's not a good option. You can spot those guys in, play Dandridge a little bit, play those, but for the most part, Precious is your. That's a matchup that you're going to win all day long, and your wings are better. Don't fight it. Why are you fighting it? Just go with it.
Yeah, and you remember, the media were questioning, we were winning against bad teams, and we would commit 30 turnovers in the wars in those teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, coaches be stubborn. They were asking Penny, then you going to change something. He was like, we still win. It's not like that the media is not controlling your coach and the bid. They just saying, man, you don't see the problem. Why you waiting to get down by 10 points to put Addis Lomax
exactly.
in? Like, you put your team at a disadvantage, but this team still have far way to go. Like you said, they look like a bubble team. I'm gonna be honest with you, because they gotta get some things correct. You gotta win the Cincinnati game. The game at Tulsa in a couple of weeks. Like Houston lost at Tulsa. This thing gonna need to win. Before
UConn almost beat Wichita State double overtime game yesterday. Yeah. You can't count on the conference to give you a bunch of good wins, because there are going to be some losses around there too.
And the landscape is down. With other teams, they have in conference they got a lot of chance get wins. But man, you see Michigan State lose about 30, Arizona lose about 20.
Yeah.
But Memphis, we can't afford to do that. They gonna drop us out the rankings. Man, we got to get better, man. He got to do better. He got to run a better offense.
Thank you, Melvin. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Melvin.
The offense is killing them. They're a good defensive team for the most part. So that's that. But you can't hang your hat on that. And it is a weird landscape in college basketball. I'm not sure if that works for or against the Tigers here, because there's a lot of really okay teams out there. Mm-hmm. And if they're one of those, then are they special? It's on the one hand, it's good that there's not something running away with the thing, but on the other hand, if you're just kind of one of 30 different teams that has some okay wins and some bad losses, how are you going to differentiate yourself? Right now, there's not much to do that.
They could make defense their thing and play a Virginia-style basketball, but the Penny doesn't want to do that.
Limit those possessions?
Yes.
Yeah, they could. That would be probably the thing to do right now, because their half court is pretty rough at this point. Let's take that time out. Come back with more of your phone calls. We've got a couple of folks lined up to talk. Also, a lot of texts as well. 67129. The rest of this hour, we're going to talk Tigers. Coming up, hour number 2, we're going to talk college football, the championship game tonight. Hour number 3, we'll talk a little Grizzlies, and we'll talk a little NFL as well. Coming up here on The Experience. Peter CJ with you, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7, AM 560.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Fiveash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
These seats are amazing.
Shoot it!
We deliver tickets, team merchandise, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now. Luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
I'm a big fan of Town Village, and there is always something to do year-round. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour of the Experience is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. All things diesel for over 26 years. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Our love will grow, and I know love will be right here.
All right, talking Tigers.
Can I make a request?
Yes, you can.
Dixie Chicks.
Can I make a request?
Go ahead.
Drew Hill.
Isn't
I'm
that
just
the-
testing you.
All right,
I'm
we're
just
just
testing you.
seeing.
I'm
We're
just testing
seeing
you.
what you're
Just
going to do.
testing you.
Make sure.
Just testing you. See, you got to
Check on him.
All right, he's okay. Sounds like he's doing all right now.
All right, right now. Wait till that 8:31.
Texters 67129 says, right now I think it's obvious their fundamentals are really lacking. The one-hand passing and leaving your feet, especially against the well-coached Wichita State. Yeah, I mean that's part of it too. I agree. Watching Ja makes one-hand passing look easy because he's really good at it, but you aren't most likely.
I mean, we told them they were.
Yeah,
they are hyper confident.
I know. These kids, all the smoke is.
Yes.
They're getting all the smoke right now.
Yes.
They are smoked out.
And as a coach, you've got to protect them from this. You've got to say, hey, I know what the stars say, and I know what the people say about you. You can't do that right now.
They are in the room right now with just smoke.
Yes.
I mean,
that might
too
be
much.
the issue with
open
the
a
turnovers.
window. You got to open a window. I mean,
They might not be able to see because of all the smoke they're around constantly.
Yeah. Texter said, why didn't South Florida go to some kind of zone? We can't shoot, and the pick and roll was killing them. This. I'm sitting here. I'm watching the last 5 minutes of this game or whatever. Like the lack of coaching. Like Brian Gregory, I would not hire him to coach my son right now. Where I'm coaching him, so he can't have my job. We're an 8-year-old team. I would not hire him for that job. Terrible. I don't even understand what the thought on either end. Like, what are you doing to? Baffling stuff. It's baffling. But yes, it's a great point. Why didn't they try? You could junk it up. There's so many different things you could do. The Tigers you can't shoot, and instead they just were allowing the same things, the very limited things the Tigers can do well, allowing them to beat them over and over and acting like dumbfounded that is not changing. Of course it's not changing. You're not doing anything to change it.
Was Gregory the coach at Georgia Tech before
Yes.
Pastner? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty much says it. So
That's true. They were willing to pay like $1 million to the University of Memphis, who were begging to get rid of Josh Pastner at that
Yes.
point, and they were paying. It's so yeah, you're right to get rid of this guy. I have no idea. That's whew. Anyway, let's go back to the phone lines and talk to Michael. Michael's not up with the First Bank phone
What
lines.
up, Michael?
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, guys.
What's happening?
This is what I want to bring up to you guys, and I'm an Ole Miss fan, but I support the University of Memphis when we're not playing each other because I've grown up right here, right outside of Memphis, so I've always been a Memphis fan in basketball. But here's the thing. Here's the biggest question I have. With all the talent that Penny has right now, do you think this is more or less growing pains of Penny's coaching? Because he doesn't have the experience, the coaching pedigree as some of the coaches that he's facing in the American. So do you think that it's because his lack of coaching experience that he's not getting the message, he's not teaching these kids? And you guys were talking about Boogie being a Duke commit, and now he's here and he's just not gotten better. Do you think it's just because of Coach K could bring him in and coach him up, and right now he's just not being coached the way he would be at a different school?
I think, Michael, that's hard to say at this point because, I mean, obviously we'll never know what he would have looked like at Duke or anywhere else because, we don't have that alternate reality to go to. But what I would say is the evidence at this point, just watching, using your eyes and seeing the numbers and watching the games, the evidence is that Penny is not an elite coach by any stretch of the imagination. He's probably not even an average coach at this point in terms of actual in-game, adjustments, X's and O's, game planning, using your players to the best of their capabilities, all that stuff. I don't know that he's there.
I think that some of this is the style of play. If they're playing a different style, I feel like we can see more of Boogie Ellis. I don't know what that style is, what lends itself to Boogie Ellis coming out and shining, but that is on the coach to try and figure out. You can't keep running this way. After that Alcorn State game, after Bradley, after New Orleans, you got to look around and take stock in the situation and say, you know what? We got a lot of turnovers in these games. Yeah, we won, but these turnovers are going to come back and bite us. Let's slow everything down for everybody. Let's slow everything down. Let's get 5 or 6 plays we can run and get good quality looks in the half court, and we're going to have to play this way. I think that is where that coaching and experience comes into play with him.
We got to let Michael run because he's some kind of craziness is happening there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This can't be great for recruiting, in my mind. If you're watching these guys that are coming in as highly touted dudes, for the most part, kind of, can't even figure it out. I mean, Boogie Ellis is out here,
top 50 player,
and can't nothing's happening. Like the guy he lost his starting gig. He's playing 13 minutes, 0 for 2, making virtually no impact on the box score. We're midway through the season. Damian Baugh, who looked like, man, this guy might be a real spark plug after that performance in the Bahamas and all that. He's out there playing 20 minutes, doesn't take a shot.
Defensive specialist now,
I guess so. And the guys that have made the most impact were the guys from last year, Lomax and Harris. Part of this is obviously freshmen are going to do freshman stuff, but like when you incorporate 5 freshmen or more into your rotation, you need them to perform. You can't just say, well, they're freshmen. No, that doesn't work that way. Like you need them. That's what we've seen from other coaches that have gone with a lot of one and dones. They get them to perform. They're up to that. Precious is a freshman. He seems to be doing okay. Like, if you're good enough, you're good enough. And these turnovers, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And the shots that they do get in the half court, shots they do get in the half court aren't good looks.
No, it's they've turned it over. I think it's something like 60 times in the last 3 games.
Yeah, you can't
It's nuts. It's nuts.
win games like that.
Let's talk to Chris. Chris, what's up?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
First of all, with the Penny situation, it's not that he doesn't know. And this is my opinion. He's running a pro style offense. They do a lot of ISOs. They do a lot of pick and rolls, which it is part of a plan because if you listen to Penny and what he talked about, how he was going to recruit, he was going to infuse an NBA style. His whole thing is whether it's right or wrong, he's trying to get these one and dones, quote unquote, ready for the NBA, so he's installed the NBA system. So to say that, well, he just doesn't know what he's doing. Yes, he knows what he's doing now. How effective it is, that's a whole different ball game. And at one point in the first half, the Tigers were shooting 64% from the field. I think they shot over 50%. So it's not that the offense, quote unquote, is not working. They just have way too many turnovers. Just way too many turnovers. And as far as if he can coach, Izzo lost by 35 yesterday. Michigan has lost, 5 games in a row. So can they not coach either? Sometimes we just sit back and we take a look at it, and it's just like a now scenario. They're 13-3. Yeah, they hadn't played the best basketball, but they're 13-3 and not 3-13. So I hang up and listen. Thank you, guys.
Right, thanks, appreciate it, Chris. We got to take a break. Just as far as that point goes, those other guys, I agree that there's a lot of turnover in college basketball right now, a lot of crazy games, but those guys have coached. As much as I've criticized Tom Izzo in the past for some of the things that he's done. The guy has a resume. He's won national championship. He has something to hang his hat on. We don't know anything with Penny yet. Penny's this is year early into year 2, and so we don't have anything. So you can't lean back and say, well, we suck now, but oh, by the way, whatever, we're really good back. You don't have that. You can criticize Coach K or Cal or whoever, but they've got Final Fours and championships and all that. Penny doesn't have that. As far as the pro style offense goes, if you can try to run a pro, I can run a pro style offense with my 8-year-olds. It doesn't mean it's a good idea just because I want to run a pro style offense. Tigers right now, for the record, in terms of the offense they get from pick and rolls, they are. I'm looking up on Synergy here. 192 in the country in terms, 192nd in terms of the amount of times, the percentage of their offense that comes from the pick and roll when it comes to the ball handler. And they are, let me get it for you real fast if I can, towards the bottom of the times that it comes from the roll man, which in this case would be Precious Achua. They are, let's see here, 105 in the country when it comes to that. So I don't buy that they're running some pick and roll heavy system because the numbers don't dictate that.
I'm sure they would like to, but the players, I don't think, are capable of that for whatever reason. No. So as a coach, you've got to make the adjustment that is necessary to get the most out of your players.
We're going to adjust here. Hour number 2. Adam Kramer on the other side. I can't wait to talk college football national championship game. That's next.
You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is? It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail. So you get the haircut you want, and, of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Leave it to the people that brought Memphis Sunrise and Next Door and Third and Court to recognize a need that we didn't even realize we had. The new underground lounge downstairs from Third and Court is the swinging bar we didn't even know downtown was missing. But now that it's here, we can't believe it hasn't been here all along. There's no place like the underground lounge downtown, or really anywhere else in Memphis. Live music, a super cool atmosphere, and incredible cocktails you literally cannot find anywhere else. Just like upstairs at Third and Court, sometimes you just want to step back in time, and the underground lounge is that trip back to the days of cool.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
And the coach calls timeout.
Wait a minute, you can't call timeout when you have leaks and Mother Nature is roaring through your home.
A technical foul from outer space may be in order.
Don't know about that, but we can measure your roof from outer space at BrianElderRoofing.com.
So if you need repairs or wondering if you think you may have a claim,
call me before you call your insurance company. And we've got 0% interest for 60 months with approved credit. We won't try to sell you a new roof if all you need is a repair.
My friend Chris Price, a longtime donor of the U of M. Call him, 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
God bless America, Penny and Mike, and go Tigers.
And now back to the game.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour of the experience is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Can I sail through the changing
Hey, by request.
Such a good CD.
There you go. Hour number 2 is here. It is cold. Stop.
Okay.
Just come on. Stop. Sing in your brain. Don't. Okay, there you go. It's beautiful. Thank you. Had to get some. Landslide. Great song. Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, and then Dixie Chicks. It's wonderful. Welcome back to the program. Hour number 2 is here, presented by our friends at East Memphis Ace Hardware, Quince and White Station. I am Peter Edmiston, alongside CJ Hurt. Our producer is Similac. Zach Boyd, taking care of business. We got a cold one out there right now, 37 degrees as you make your way to work. Hope you guys were okay after a rough weekend of storms, but we are through it, and now we go down south. We normally talk to him on Fridays, but we go to him from what appears to be the Mist in Stephen King's novel. I don't know what's happening in New Orleans, but it looks quite ominous over there. But we said let's do this on Monday. Let's blow this thing out because we got a national championship game to talk about tonight, and who better than our good friend, the senior college football writer for Bleacher Report, at Kegs and Eggs on Twitter, all around great guy, Adam Kramer. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Happy Championship Day.
I can't believe it. Yeah, this is it. Well, I'm sure somebody will do something stupid, and we'll have things to talk about in the off season. But here, just me doing my very professional thing and roaming New Orleans because it's my job. It's unbelievable. This place is ready to just explode. I mean, Clemson is well represented. I can report that. They travel really well, like really, really well. So of course you've seen that. I'm excited to see kind of what the fan breakdown is tonight.
Did you see the guy walking around with the tiger tail up? Would appear to
I
be
did
in
not
his,
see him, but I just was very curious where the tail was attached to. But no, this place is nuts, and as one would expect it to be.
I expected that, and of course, I mean LSU. I remember being down on Bourbon Street for LSU games of the past, and both in Baton Rouge and also when they were somewhere else altogether. And the atmosphere is wild. I can only imagine when you add the national championship to the mix and everyone there, and the disappointment of the Saints season and everything else that's gone on. I mean, I'm assuming that community, Adam, is just insane right now.
I also think there's a sense that like you don't know when you're going to do this again. You know you have really good players, and you'll be in a position to do this again too. But that fan base specifically has seen, just this offensive revolution. You've got Burrow, you've got Brady, you've got a lot of these different moving parts. It's different with Clemson. They've done it. They've been here. Lawrence is back. Their conference still stinks. Like there's, you don't want to bank on that happening again, but there's kind of this sort of, this would be huge and will probably be this amazing dynasty if we win. But it's harder to do that with LSU, as brilliant as they've been. So at the same point, it's pressure. And I think there's more pressure on LSU. I don't think that's like a hot take. It seems pretty obvious. But all of that culminating in this city that is, again, equipped for this kind of emotion and game. Like we were out last night, and it was just like it's unreal. The environment and atmosphere throughout the day is going to be insane.
Are you surprised that Brady didn't take a head coaching job and that he stuck around LSU for another year?
From the people I've talked to, no, because I think there's an idea. There's still some things he needs to learn. You know what I mean? Like I think there's an understanding that there's still some things to do, but the opportunities aren't going to go away. So no, I don't think so. I think everybody's been pretty open about it. I think it's just a reality of understanding a position of strength and sort of using it slowly to his advantage.
Well, it's worked out really, really well, and I think the other factor in this that's amazing to me, Adam, is a guy that you know and you've gotten to know a little bit over the years in Ed Orgeron, and his story is so remarkable that he's through a combination of I guess him maturing, getting older and wiser, putting the right people around him, being humble enough. I think it's a wonderful story. Like I think the Ed Orgeron story is one that we should all kind of learn from, because this guy was a joke. I mean, he was an absolute joke. As soon as 3 years ago, but certainly going back to when we covered him at Ole Miss. I tell the story all the time of going down to his. I was doing an interview with him in his office, and he had some of the weirdest things. One day he just up and left me in the middle of the office without warning. He just goes, "Whoop!" And then he just walks out of the room, and like leaving me in his office for like I just ended up having to walk myself out of the facility. There was no one else around, and he just was never coming back. I guess I don't know, stuff like that. When he was just learning how to do it, he would do all kinds of weird things like that. His ability now to know what he can and can't do, to get people around him that do, the willingness to say, "Y'all take it over. I'm going to do the stuff I'm good at. You do the stuff you're good at." And to be the kind of coach he's turned into, where the emotion and what Joe Burrow has got, getting a Heisman Trophy. I just think we should all learn from Ed Orgeron's ability and willingness to humble himself and to get better.
It's funny. I went back and read one of the original stories I did about him, and this was just after USC didn't work out, and him talking about, if I ever get another head coaching job again. And just some of these quotes that you read in the time, they made complete sense, because who knew if he was going to get a job again? You knew he'd get an assistant job because he could always recruit, but you didn't know what that meant. And you look at it now, and I'm with you. He doesn't pretend to be the engineer of this offense. He basically said, I had a vision. I got to figure out who's going to do that. And, man, he's done that, it's just been incredible. So, he's humble about it, I think. It's different. It feels very like your friend is succeeding because nothing about him is all too put together. And you know what I mean? Like, it's very raw. It's very real. And I think that's why people can relate to it.
On the other side, Dabo Swinney, is there anything this man won't complain about? He's complaining about being in New Orleans. He's complaining about folks not believing in Clemson, even though Clemson was ranked in the top 5, top 4 most of the year, if not all of the year, if I'm not mistaken, all of the year, the entire year. They were ranked in the top 3 or 4 all season long. Is there anything he won't complain about, Adam?
That whole underdog thing, though, it's kind of funny, and I get it. It is kind of irritating. At Media Day, I was by him for a while. He believes it 100%. It's not manufactured. That's not like a bit. Because you would think, come on, you've won, how many games in a row? You've done this, that. I think he's so in tune, like with this, and understands the strength of it because you talk to the players, they think it too. It's sort of like the Sabanization of things. I remember at Alabama when you start to talk to all these players and they start to sound like Nick Saban. Mm-hmm. I think with Dabo, it's sort of that same way where he's ingrained in them, hey, this is how it is. And this is what we're going to use as motivation. So, yes, it gets kind of old. And if they win this game, you can't do that anymore. I hope, please stop. There's just certain topics, he's a really charming individual. I think overall, like a really good dude, but there's certain topics that he explores, compensating players, the whole social media thing, that he just sort of steps in it every once in a while. But I really love, if you listen to him, he's engaging, he's fun, he's honest, but there's just certain elements that are sort of infuriating for people. And Clemson being this little, mighty underdog when you've got like just this group of freaks, including like the most interesting quarterback we've seen in a decade, like that just ain't it.
So this game itself, I don't think I've looked forward to a national championship game like this in a while. I really, because with all due respect to Alabama and all the style it's kind of same like Alabama Clemson, like we've seen it before. This is a little bit different because we got LSU. Okay. We've also got both these teams. I think have kind of, I'm not gonna say reinvented themselves, but they've gone through different phases this year. Even though they're 14-0, it hasn't been the same type of 14-0 between the two of them. And I really think this has all the elements of a another classic game. I know the spread is 5.5, 6 at this point.
Yep.
It doesn't feel that big to me. This doesn't. That feels like too many points. We'll get into some of the nuts and bolts, but as a whole, Adam, how does this rank for a game in terms of you looking forward to it?
It's the most excited I've been for a football game in a long time. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most excited I've been for a game. There are just so many sellable factors. You have basically the two number 1 draft picks over the next 2 years. You have 2 coaches who are not who present themselves in kind of this very unique ways, like 2 really different but fun personality. You go down the list, 2 running backs that probably the best pass catching running back. Like there's just so many things about this. How many first round wide receivers you have or draftable wide receivers, probably 6 or 7 when it's all said and done. So you can like list the things. And yeah, it's fat. It does remind you, like you think about this, and I've thought about this week too. You think about the fact that one of these teams both feel sort of unbeatable right now at this moment. The way the quarterbacks operate, all these different things, and you think about the fact that that's going to change here, over the next 15 hours, and it feels pretty surreal. I can tell you this, like I've seen Joe Burrow live this year, 3 times. I don't think I've personally seen a college quarterback with my own eyes like this. There are guys that have taken over the game. You know, the Cam Newton. Cam Newton came to mind when you talk about guys who just have an impact in the game. But just watching him it has been surreal. And he's been so cool and calm. So I'm interested to see how that translates. So just from a level of interest and hype, this is as good as it gets. I've watched a lot of crappy football games in person over the last 5 years. I want a great game. I am owed a great game. Not everybody out there and you guys, like me personally. This game is for me. It is about me. No, I really think there's a chance. It does. It feels like a chance that this could be truly epic. I really want that to be the case.
Is there a player that you've got in mind who could, not one of the players that are everyday household names, but somebody off the radar a bit that you think might be poised for a breakout performance in this one?
Well, I'll tell you, I wrote about him earlier, so this is good. Way to promote that. Again, about me. Clyde Edwards, the running back from LSU, is by no means like some little sneaky guy who's going to sneak out. He had a great year, third in rushing. But the amazing thing about him, he's listed at 5'8". There's absolutely no way he's 5'8". He's 5'7", maybe 5'6". And in a game that has so many giants, quarterbacks are big. The wide receivers are power forwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got 5-star defensive recruits all over the place. The most interesting player in this game is probably 5'7". You're going to lose sight of him. I mean, this kid really is amazing when you look at what he can do. They use him as a wide receiver. Against Alabama, he had 9 catches. So he was, as good as Burrow was in that game, I mean, he scored 4 touchdowns against Nick Saban, only scrimmage player since he's been in Alabama to do that. That's the one I'm really excited to see, and obviously he's been injured. So you hope the hamstring holds up. But no, I think that in terms of people that have an impact in the game, I'd look at both running backs. Again, Etienne, this is no secret, but both of those guys, Etienne, you saw it against Ohio State, are true, can kind of do anything players. As much as we're going to talk about the QBs, I think those are the ones that are going to make a huge, huge difference here.
I think it's interesting to look at the defensive side. Let's look at the Clemson defensive matchup against LSU on offense. You mentioned how good Joe Burrow has been, and Joe Brady, the way that they execute that passing attack is phenomenal. But Clemson ranks as the best pass defense in the country. I don't think personnel-wise, I mean, they've lost so many guys to the NFL. They're not quite as talented as they were. They've had to create pressure more via blitzes as opposed to just purely rushing with 4 as they've done in years past. That may be a problem for them. But I get the feeling, Adam, that, this, I don't know that, I'm not going to say they're going to do a bend but don't break situation, but I feel like Brent Venables, if anyone can do it, he can do it. And Clemson's defense, in my mind, if I'm Clemson, I'm predicated on, I know I'm not probably going to slow them down between the 20s. I think they're going to get, Joe Burrow is going to have, he's probably going to end up with the most accurate passing season of all time. He'll be, 5,700 yards plus. But I can stop them from scoring touchdowns. If I can keep them kicking 3 each time, then I think I can win this game. Otherwise, if that big play, instead of getting tackled at the 15, if they go to the house, I'm in trouble.
It's a great point. The way they attack Burrow is going to be fascinating. You're right. This is a defense that's going to get better over the next few years with all the reinforcements that they have. You lose, 3 first-round draft picks on the defensive line. Of course, there's going to be some drop-off. If there's a weakness for LSU on the offense, it's the offensive line. It's not bad, but it's not like Ohio State. And at the same point, Burrow, it was, with the NFL stadiums, the press boxes position you almost kind of behind the end zone now at an angle, right? And watching Burrow navigate in the pocket, extend plays was truly unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. That guy is really, really, really good at it. So watching him move around and manipulate things, I think it's very interesting to see what Clemson does, which is, do you send, what do you use Isaiah Simmons as, who's their best player? How aggressive are you in chasing Burrow? Because he can move. If you attack him and miss, he's going to beat you bad. Alabama's seen it. I mean, we've seen it a lot. So I think the way they need to kind of contain him and really try to shorten plays will be really, really interesting.
Tony Elliott co-offensive coordinator for Clemson. We talked some about Brady and his decision to stay at LSU. Is anybody looking at Tony Elliott at all that you hear about, or is he just so committed to Dabo Swinney and what's being built at Clemson, he's not interested in leaving?
No, absolutely. He's great, and I really enjoy talking to him. He's a great recruiter too. So ETN, that was the guy that kind of got him. You see Jeff Scott leave this year for South Florida, which was kind of a break in things because, Venables, him, Tony Elliott have been there for so long. The luxury Clemson has is you can lose your offensive coordinator or one of them and still have the same philosophy and position because you have another guy. And I don't think they're going to replace him. So the short answer is yes. No, he gets looks, and I think he'll continue to get looks. When you're around this much greatness and acquire as much talent as he's helped them do via recruiting, it won't last forever. Obviously, for Clemson, that has been massive when you have coordinators in place for 6, 7, 8 years when these guys have been together. Yes, there's been some other moving parts. You'll be surprised to know Dabo talked about some of the other moving parts in the press conference and how they've been able to overcome it. But specifically having Dabo, having those 4 guys together has been integral for their success. I think ultimately, it's just pretty much a matter of time for Tony Elliott. The luxury that he has, if stay, you got one more year of Trevor Lawrence, and then, oh, by the way, you've got the number 1 high school quarterback in the country who's already on campus, who, according, you talk to people, is just absolutely wowing people already. It is sort of not fair, the system that Clemson has rolling right now.
Text in 67129 if you have a question for Adam Kramer. He's sticking with us for most of the hour here as we're blowing this thing out on a national championship Monday. We'll talk about some of the other matchups as well because I think this is a fascinating game. We're also going to get into a little bit of the new Egg Bowl and what should be
what it's
amazing.
called.
I mean, I can't even believe that we are fortunate enough to have Lane Kiffin against Mike Leach. That's it's too good. It's too good. So we're going to talk about that when we come back here on The Experience. Adam Kramer joining us on a very special Monday. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Check out Dave Voloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time. Weekdays from 3 till 6 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Help us make room for our incoming inventory at Family Leisure. Save thousands on all floor model spas. Floor model play gyms up to 50% off. Patio furniture 10 to 50% off. Don't wait until May to purchase your swimming pool. Buy now and get scheduled for the spring installation. Additional discounts on all swimming pools, grills, fire pits, outdoor kitchens. Get to I-40 and Whidden Road. There's always something good at Family Leisure.
Tiger Hoops fans have something extra to look forward to this coming March. Not only is it tournament time, but it's the opening of the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum.
After Finch's two-pointer, Ronnie Robinson sank the shot that once again brought the two teams into a tie.
Come to the Pink Palace Museum this March and experience 100-plus years of Tiger men's and women's basketball, from their beginnings as the West Tennessee State Normal School to the present.
The Tigers are very much alive.
Don't miss the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum, opening March 7th.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Pop Wigington has been in the restaurant business since the 70s and has now brought 3 generations of family favorites together under one roof at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pops takes you back to a simpler time when food and life was more wholesome. Settle down today for lunch or dinner at Pops with daily specials like country fried steak, fried catfish, chicken and dumplings, or Pops' famous fried chicken livers, all served up with your choice of 23 fresh vegetables like field peas and snaps, seasoned green beans, sweet corn and turnip greens. Hungry for a sandwich? Check out the Chuck, a hand-patted cheeseburger between 2 grilled cheese buns topped with lettuce, tomato, diced onion, pickles, fried egg, and bacon. Or a half-pound flat iron steak sandwich served on Texas toast. Don't forget one of Grandma's homemade desserts like chess pie or banana pudding. Take comfort today at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's Comfort Kitchen.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. This hour of the experience is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
If you want my future,
Oh,
forget my past.
the Queens of Soul are at it again.
This guy. Stop the joke. Turn it off. Shut it down.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Come on, the Spice Girls, man. They're amazing. I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. All right, Adam Kramer joins us. You want to jump in, Adam? You got the rest of this?
Did you hear me giggling? Like, that's probably my best contribution that you would want, and I don't know if you want that.
I do. I love it. I love every bit of it. Texter got a great text here. Very important question for you, Adam. Guy says, Adam, I got to work tonight until 9 p.m. Do you have any strategies for watching the first half on the break room TV without getting fired? I work retail at Bass Pro Shops, the Bass Pyramid, maybe. So what do you think? Well, you got any tips for this guy to sneak this in?
Well, devices are huge now, right? So obviously you get it going on your phone.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the real key thing here is just drifting in and out of like behind large objects. So just stay incognito. But with phones now, and I don't know, maybe a singular AirPod where you can have one, and never have that ear facing anybody. Just kind of. I think you could do this. I think you could pull this off without being fired. It is worth it, though. This is a game that you want to risk it all for. There's no doubt about that.
Risk it all. I'm willing to risk it all, baby.
Curious about the dress code, if they could get away with a hat like I'm wearing, a little skull cap inside, because then you can put the one AirPod in and have the hat on over your ears and nobody would see it. And
I also think, too,
weave in and out.
it's a title game. Yeah, like like if you got caught, be like, hey man, like it's just the best football game of the last 10
I think
years.
working at Bass Pro, like most of your clientele going to Bass Pro are probably going to be cool with you watching the game during the. Be like, hey man, you can we? I don't know if you're working. I don't know if you're selling the rods or the reels, or we selling the guns, or
Do
we
they sell
selling
little
the,
TVs there?
I don't know what we're selling, but like whatever we're selling, chances are, I think. You know, you got a bro coming in here to buy fishing gear at 8 p.m. on Monday night on the championship game. My odds pretty good that you'd be like, hey man, you want to sit here and watch this game with me while we pick you out like a fly rod or something. And I think he's probably going to be okay with that. I'm thinking you just kind of lean into it.
You'll have people coming in there watching it on their phones.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're working retail at like I don't know, I'm in like
J.C. Penney.
Yeah, or I mean something
Belk?
like that. Sure. Yeah, Belk. Right.
Belk.
No, or your Kohl's or something like that, you know. Or if you're at Costco and like you're working the front.
No,
that's a whole
if
different
you're working
deal.
the front.
Yeah, if you're working the front. Yeah.
You gotta get somebody to switch and let you get dollar TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I mean, but I think at Bass Pro, I think you're good. I think you can pretty much just watch it almost. I'm not gonna say out in the open. I don't want you to get fired, but I think you can almost watch it wherever.
Have you gotten in trouble before? If not, like milk this.
Yeah,
make this
absolutely.
the one.
Yeah, get this. You
Make
everyone's
them
got one.
Make them threaten you before you stop.
They got to warn you.
Yes.
Most likely they can't. I'm not gonna. Well, actually, don't take that to the bank. But they probably can't. They probably can't just fire you. Most likely. I don't know what your job performance has been, but in any
This
event,
poor guy is going to have the worst night of his life.
Oh, I know.
Like, yeah.
We're sorry, guy. We're sorry, buddy. We're not trying to get you fired. I promise. If you work at Bass Pro, if you're this guy's manager, text in 67129. Let us know if he can watch the game while he's there. I mean, come on. It's going to be it's a national championship game. It's going to be great. Now, my question for you, Adam, LSU defensively, are they what we've seen of late? They've gotten healthier and they look good. They look better. Earlier in the year, not so much. They're giving up 3,000 points. People are putting up big numbers against them. Not big enough because obviously their offense is amazing, but plenty big. Opponents are going to the buffet against LSU. That has changed a little bit as they've gotten healthier, and then they get Divinity back in the mix, which is an interesting addition at this stage of the game. What's your is LSU's defense secretly pretty good?
Well, yeah. The from a personnel standpoint, the back end is ridiculous. So what you're watching tonight, you know, and you're looking at this secondary. I wrote about the one kid, Derek Stingley Jr., Grant Delpit, your Thorpe Award winner. Derek Stingley Jr. has probably had the best season for a true freshman quarterback in the last 20 years. I mean, when you look at what he did, Georgia targeted him a bunch, intercepted Jake Fromm twice. He got burned in Alabama, but been targeted a lot, really good. You have Kristen Fulton there. So yeah, the secondary is just absurdly good. I think the issue they've had, and you mentioned with Divinity, is pressure, is applying pressure, because as good as your secondary is, it's not going to do you any good if you can't get after the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, we mentioned Joe Burrow being able to kind of run around. I mean, him like breaking away from Ohio State defenders, I knew he could move. Like that still was a moment for me. So I think the interesting thing, there's so many interesting things. Clemson having two wide receivers who are 6'4", 215 pounds, whatever, bigger, is a tough matchup for whomever guards them. And then the fact that you do have Lawrence, his ability to kind of run around and move. LSU needs to get pressure, but they also can't be overly aggressive. So yes, I think the defense, this isn't Clemson's defense, but I think the defense can be better. I think since the Alabama game where they were just absolutely torched, you had Ole Miss in there. I mean, there were some lapses. It does feel like it's much improved. I thought early on against Oklahoma, that was awfully impressive. Jalen Hurts, that was over. I know they ended up giving, 28 points or whatever it was, but early on in that game, they just disrupted it so much that they TNT'd the whole game plan. If they can apply the pressure they did there, I think they'll be okay.
Is that the matchup you're most looking forward to watching, the receivers for Clemson versus the LSU defensive backs, or is there another matchup that you can't wait to see?
That's one of them. I think the defensive line's trying to corral both these quarterbacks. It's fascinating. I mean, seriously, Lawrence is like just a supremely gifted athlete. That breakaway run and Burrow, the way he can elude, to me, that's the biggest schematic note of interest is which team corrals that guy better. Because it's not just the fact that they're going to run for 80, 90, 100 yards. I mean, Lawrence could do that. He did it then. But it's the way they extend plays and just put so much pressure on the defense that they collapse. I think there's so many different – the reason these offenses are so good, it's not just that – and both of them have insanely gifted wideouts, but then you've got these pieces like the quarterbacks being able to run, the running backs being able to catch, both of which Etienne and Clyde could do that. That's really what makes this such a fun, miserable game for defensive coordinators. And Venables kind of talked about that, just how many areas of concern there are. And look, both teams have it. It's why they've been so good.
Well, let's hold off for final predictions and analysis and all that stuff for a second. Let's detour for a moment to Mississippi. Go a little north of where you happen to be. You may be spending some more time there next year. If my hunch is that you will be, so maybe we're going to get you in Memphis after all. Maybe you'll be covering Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
Maybe you'll be covering, do a little Lane Kiffin watch, or maybe you'll be doing a little Mike Leach watch, because Mike Leach has been hired at Mississippi State. And considering the timing of this, Adam, it was very strange to me that they didn't fire. If they're going to fire Joe Moorhead, you probably should have just fired him after the season.
Correct.
But they didn't, for whatever reason, let all this business come out and everything else. I don't know. So considering the timing of it, this is the same time of year when Tennessee had to rush and hire Derek Dooley, which was a colossal mistake of epic proportions. Considering all of that, I feel like, degree of difficulty and all that stuff aside, to get Mike Leach is something, and to see him now back in the SEC and with his what his whole persona, I just think for Mississippi State, it's a really perfect fit.
It's a great fit. Look, there's a lot with Leach. You can't simply he's a complicated man and coach, and for the most part, I mean that in a really positive way. The part football wise that I think is great for them, this is something that's going to really torture certain teams. Like what he's been so good at is he evens out a difference in talent and all those things, because what he does and the way he coaches football is so different. So there will be games that they are a significant underdog, and yet when it starts rolling downhill, he seems to capitalize. I'm interested to see what he can do with more talent. I think one of the things that Washington State, obviously it's not a great recruiting place, but when you're turning, Anthony Gordon into the nation's leading passer and a kid who doesn't have a ton of physical gifts, like what happens when he starts landing quarterbacks with those gifts? What can he do then? So it's also just from an entertainment standpoint, my God. I mean, SEC Media Days now is they're but what are you doing? Like, that is amazing.
It's amazing.
Top to bottom now. There are very few points where you're using the facilities to get out of there. There's so many interesting personalities in that conference.
How do you organize it? Do you pit Leach and Kiffin on the same day? Do you space them out, though one of them with Saban on one of the days? How do we organize SEC coaching media day?
Yeah, you got to sidecar those guys. You got to space them out. My last day, if you're worried about people leaving, my last day, I'd go Saban, Kiffin back to back. Right, I'd go Saban.
Yep.
I'd start.
They need to cross
Leach.
each other. They need to somehow walk past each other. They need to be in the same room with each other.
So we start. We hit Leach out front and then end with Saban, Kiffin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would start. I'd go Leach, and then I'd throw Orgeron back to back. Day one, the heavy hitter, boom, and then you save the Kiffin, Saban. Actually, have the press conferences at the same time. Have them talking over each other, right next to each other. Just run two press conferences and let them fight it out if it gets to that. But I mean, both of the hires are really interesting, but Leach typically really does maximize talent, and at a place where you're still at a talent disadvantage relative to your conference, I think you'll be able to do that.
What about Joe Oliva just laying the smackdown on Jimbo and everybody else? Did you see the piece in The Advocate where Oliva, as he's departing LSU officially, he's under contract till I think April, but he's very much still on the scene, just not the AD anymore. but essentially said, I talked to people in the ACC, and at that point, I did not want Jimbo. I wouldn't have touched Jimbo. I didn't want to give Tom Herman the money that he wanted. He was just coming out swinging at the end of this thing.
Well, at this point, why not? I mean, now's the time to swing, right? Like now is the time to swing, and I did see that. It's when you're in that kind of position, can you swing more, and can more people swing?
Yes,
like
I love
that's what I would like. Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I saw Jimbo on TV. By the way, I saw him out walking around yesterday. Have you ever tried to? And I don't know if you have, but transcribing him is a horrifying thing because there is no space in words. You transcribe him, you got to slow the tape recorder down, and you still have to replay this thing because the man literally, I don't know if he has gills where he breathes through his gills because he does not stop to breathe. It is truly the toughest transcription you have in CFP.
Hate transcribing.
Ole Miss
terrible.
made a splash not only with Lane Kiffin but the bringing on of DJ Durkin. Is it time for him to coach, or does he need a little bit more time away from the game?
Well, it'd be interesting to see what they did to determine that they wanted to make this decision. What went into the homework? I think for Lane, who has generated so much good PR over the last couple of years with his Twitter, with just being with the success that he's had, this was like a real blip in not being able to generate that. So at the same point, quite honestly, I'd love to see what they have that says, yes, we should do this call. And is this an important enough a hire for Lane? This is the part that I'm interested with, is does Lane feel that strongly about him that he's going to, risk or knows that he's going to get clobbered with this decision? Like, is it worth it? Clearly he thought that it was. So, when you read some of the quotes from the fallout and the way, the parents talked about Durkin, this is hard to stomach. At the same point, truly, we don't know all the details, and there's a lot here. So no, it's a really sensitive hire. The reality is, people are going to react the way that you do. Is it probably going to blow over? And I don't mean to say that like in a callous way, but there's no other way to say it. Yeah, like people were mad for about a day or two. I'm sure some people will stay very mad. But for the most part, was it as bad? You know what I mean? Was it really that bad? Not really. I think kids are still going to commit to Lane, which is the big thing. If you're the university wondering, should we do this? People are still going to go there. So I'm interested to see, though. That was the first time in a long time where Lane did something that people are always going to kind of love and hate him because he's polarizing. But this is something that gave people a way to pretty much easy clobber him, and a lot of people did.
Well, it's going to be fascinating. So, Adam, we've come to it now. We need to make the call. We need to make the decision. I need you to tell me who is going to be your national champion and why.
Okay, so I'm going to pick LSU. I will not filibuster you to an answer, but I can tell you that my confidence in that pick throughout the week has gone down. I still think Joe Burrow is out of this world this year, and I don't think the stage will be too big. All those different things, but Clemson's defense, all these things that we've talked about are huge factors here. And the part of this that's hard is Clemson sort of just has it in these games, and that's not something like quantifiable. It's just something to say like, boy, Clemson in these games is really good, and they could be really, really good again. And Trevor Lawrence, what he did against Ohio State, really, really tough. There's like a resiliency factor there. I think it'll be pretty high scoring. The total is 68. I could see it. The score I was kind of playing around with is like 35-31. So I could see Clemson covering, and I could see this game being right around that total. I think defensively, yes, these teams have some players, but the offenses are going to be overpowering. So I just want an epic game, man. Mm-hmm. Again, for me, an epic game. I think there's a really good chance of it, even though the spread is 5.5. Last year's game was so shocking when Alabama just, the their RV exploded. There was parts everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that was wild. That was shocking and interesting. But I want something like I have to write on a pretty tight deadline. I wanted that experience to be miserable for me. If that's a miserable writing experience, that means we got a great game.
It's you know what, I think I have a feeling, as much as there's a lot of so much talent on Clemson's side, but unless they've been sandbagging it all year, and maybe they have been. I mean, they're good enough to have kind of kept some cards, you know, close to the vest for this game. But unless that's the case, I just think they're not going to be able to stop those big plays from LSU. And I think you could see a repeat of last year. I think you could see the wheels come off for Clemson in this game. And it could be, you know, 35-14 in the second quarter. And you're like, what in the hell just happened? Like, what? I just have a feeling if LSU can execute, I see no reason why they can't. I feel like Clemson's ripe for this. Maybe I'm crazy, but
they should have got drugged by Ohio State if Ohio State gets touchdowns instead of field goals.
Yeah, that's
LSU,
why I say they're gonna have to
LSU's not
do that,
kicking field goals. LSU's going to score touchdowns.
I would think so, unless they can stop them in the red zone. But yeah, that's what killed Ohio State. They had over 500 yards of offense, and just kept kicking those field goals. I don't know, man. I think we could be in for a shocking blowout type situation. I think Clemson, again, unless they're hanging on to something. Now it could be that, you know, it took them, you know, 5-6 weeks this year to even get started. They got off to such a slow, kind of meandering start to their season before they really cranked it into gear. So maybe they have another gear. I'm not ruling that out, but I think they're going to have to find that other gear, or else LSU is going to blow them out of the water.
Oh, Dabo is so happy that you said this. Like, Dabo's listening right now, probably on the treadmill, got his AirPods in, like our guy from Bass Pro, just listening, and he's thrilled. But no, there is nothing LSU has done. Like, there has been no moment this year, Florida maybe, Auburn, I don't know, where LSU has felt like a worse team than anybody.
No. They're more talented and they're better coach.
Yeah, just more talent. And Burrow is ice cold. He's a different dude, and when he gets into these moments, he's been surreal. So I still think Clemson kind of wiggles into contention for sure in this game. There's just too many good players for it to be that lopsided. However, it'll be interesting to see. One other thing to watch, like a behind the curtain thing that I thought was interesting, talking to the LSU offensive people, they said the last 6 games that LSU's played, the defense has come out in looks that they've never shown before on film, right? So they've come out, started with Auburn, and they've come out with, you know, different packages, you know, 7 DBs that they've never shown. And that what LSU does, they kind of let Joe Burrow do his thing, and then kind of as it's going, you know, Joe Brady sort of dissects this whole thing of how they're going to attack it. I'm very interested to see, A, what Clemson does. You know, they have so many interesting players. They can do a lot of different things, a lot of athletic linebackers, and B, how long it takes for Burrow to adjust. I didn't see much of an adjustment against Oklahoma, right? Like, that seemed to go well. It'll be very interesting to see, though, how aggressive both they and Clemson are as you kind of feel this game out.
That's true. And, of course, you know, historically, the team that's beaten Oklahoma has not won. The number 1 seed has not won in these situations. So, you know, a lot of the omens are going against LSU. But I think we don't have a real big sample size on these things either. Adam, well, I really appreciate it. We're going to talk again at the end of the week to wrap up the college football season. We'll have a champion. At that point, hopefully you will have recovered by then. Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Oh, God, this town. I need to leave this town immediately. With food. And, I mean, this place is I was in the Harris Casino 3 times yesterday. 3 separate times.
I've been there. That is a trap. That spot there is a trap, man.
It's right there when you turn
It's right there when you turn the corner. You get it's just, there it comes. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, what time is it? Oh, I can go to the casino. Yeah, I'm good. No, you can't. You're never good. It's never good.
Place is amazing.
You up?
I'm I got to go home is what I need to do. I need to watch a football game.
Are you winning? Are you up at the casino? Are you
Oh, yes. I had a good, I thought you meant like still awake. Barely. Oh, no. Barely is the answer. No, I had a good day yesterday.
Yay!
But I met some friends last night, and And just walking around it, it was like a scene from like The Walking Dead. It's just people pinballing into each other, sweating profusely, yelling, "Go Tigers." It was actually amazing. So, good
luck.
This place is an amazing city. I haven't spent as much time as I've been in Vegas here, but it does just, even if you do this cautiously, like I sort of have been, this is taking years off my life. I know that, but gosh, is it fun.
It's worth it. Adam, you're a good man. We'll talk to you soon, bud. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kramer.
He's the best. He's Adam Kramer. We'll take a break. We'll come back, continue here. Hour number 2 brought to you by our friends at East Memphis Ace Hardware, Quince and White Station. Go get the great deals that Jarrett and Phillip have put together for you. Go see them. They are awesome folks. Go check them out at East Memphis Ace Hardware. Back after this reel. Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
I'm a big fan of Town Village, and there is always something to do year-round. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
And the coach calls timeout.
Wait a minute, you can't call timeout when you have leaks and Mother Nature is roaring through your home.
A technical foul from outer space may be in order.
Don't know about that, but we can measure your roof from outer space at BrianElderRoofing.com.
So if you need repairs or wondering if you think you may have a claim,
call me before you call your insurance company. And we've got 0% interest for 60 months with approved credit. We won't try to sell you a new roof if all you need is a repair.
My friend Chris Price, a longtime donor of the U of M. Call him, 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
God bless America, Penny and Mike, and go Tigers.
And now back to the game.
Call 867-0303.
Pop Wigington has been in the restaurant business since the 70s and has now brought 3 generations of family favorites together under one roof at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's takes you back to a simpler time when food and life was more wholesome. Settle down today for lunch or dinner at Pop's with daily specials like country fried steak, fried catfish, chicken and dumplings, or Pop's famous fried chicken livers, all served up with your choice of 23 fresh vegetables like field peas and snaps, seasoned green beans, sweet corn and turnip greens. Hungry for a sandwich? Check out the Chuck, a hand-patted cheeseburger between 2 grilled cheese buns topped with lettuce, tomato, diced onion, pickles, fried egg, and bacon. Or a half-pound flat iron steak sandwich served on Texas toast. Don't forget one of Grandma's homemade desserts like chess pie or banana pudding. Take comfort today at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's Comfort Kitchen.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour of the experience is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Yeah. What's your prediction?
On En Vogue?
What's your prediction on En Vogue?
Oh, I think En Vogue is one of the great groups that we don't give enough respect to.
No, your prediction. What are they going to be up to?
What are they going to be up to?
Yeah.
I think that
Casino?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably maybe go back on tour, hit up some casinos. If En Vogue gets anywhere near me, though,
oh yeah,
I'll be there.
They're great.
I'll be there.
Phenomenal. No, your prediction tonight. Clemson, LSU.
I mean, it's
national championship.
It's hard for me not to think LSU just doesn't go out there and beat the brakes off of Clemson. Ohio State should have beat Clemson senseless if they get touchdowns instead of field goals.
You throw that P in there. You're not afraid.
No.
Clemson.
They should have annihilated Clemson. They should have. They also should have beat Clemson as well.
No, I like it.
They seriously should have beat the hell out of Clemson.
They should have.
If you get touchdowns instead of field goals, that is a completely different game. Yeah. You don't give them a chance to say anything. What did they kick? They kicked 10, 12, 15. They kicked like 3 or 4 field goals in the red zone.
512 yards of offense. They were in the red zone all the time. They looked like in the first half you thought, oh, they could run away with this thing. This is going to be. And they didn't. And once Clemson got themselves a foothold in this game, then they felt they used their ability. They got some 1 or 2 officiating decisions that went their way. All kinds of stuff.
The targeting.
Yeah, the targeting thing was one. It was a big one. So I don't know, man. That's why I think at the end of the day, like LSU's better than Ohio State from a talent standpoint. Ohio State's got a ton of talent, but LSU's got even a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then I think their coaching is better. Although Ryan Day did a really nice job this year with Ohio State, I got to give him credit for that. I'm just telling you, man. Clemson could still have some stuff in the back pocket, but I don't think so.
If it ain't came out yet, it ain't in that pocket no more.
I think they've got the ability to at least hold on to Etienne a little bit and keep him from getting crazy. And on the other side, unless Isaiah Simmons has a huge game, I think Edwards-Helaire is going to be able to do in short yardage what Ohio State couldn't. Mm-hmm. And Joe Burrow is phenomenal. So we'll see.
I'd love for it to come down to B.T. Potter and Cade York, but it's not.
I read their book. It's really good.
Yeah.
B.T. Potter and
Cade York.
Great. Couple great authors. Let's take that break. Come back. Hour number 3 on the way. When we do, we're going to talk a little bit about the Grizzlies. The red-hot Grizzlies. Winners of 7 of their last 9 and 5 straight. First time they won 5 straight in 14 months. Oh, my goodness.
Woo!
Woo! We'll do that when we return here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56. AM 560, 96.1, 87.7.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch is your one-stop shop for apparel and boots. Cold weather is here, and Frontier's selection of Carhartt winter gear is just what you need. Shop a wide assortment of jeans, dungarees, vests, bib overalls, and coats, including Carhartt's classic Sherpa and quilt line jackets. You'll find Carhartt quality at that Frontier low price. A new year brings plenty of new arrivals in Frontier's ladies' boutique department. Dresses, tunics, tops, printed and solid leggings, and so much more. Thousands of tops, t-shirts by Simply Southern, as well as on-trend shoes and fashion boots. And finally, there's the world-famous Frontier Boots showroom. Thousands of name-brand boots for men, women, and children. Ariat, Corral, Rocky, Dan Post, and many more. From rugged work boots to classic dress boots, Frontier has your next favorite pair. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road, Olive Branch, or on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 Traffic.
Tina Tires with your traffic on Sports 56. We're dealing with crashes on Shelby Drive at Tuggle, Raleigh-LaGrange near Witten. There is a tree down. Houston Levy at Macon, Winchester near Lamar, and Germantown Parkway at Trinity. And we'll have a complete update on your roads again on Sports 56 as it breaks with me, Tina Tires.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Chillin', minding my business. Your thoughts, I looked around and I couldn't believe this. I swear, I stared, my niece, my witness. The brother had it going on with something kinda wicked.
I mean,
great song.
Great song.
But you messed up against that. This is not a girl group.
How?
They are women. There are multiples of them. They're not a girl group, though. Like, girl groups aren't rap.
Girl groups sing.
They sing.
Yeah, they don't rap.
Is Wu-Tang Clan a boy band?
No.
Okay, why? And then apply that logic to Salt and Pepper and Spinderella.
Okay.
Can I get some fries with the shake?
Uzi or a shotgun. Bang. What's up with that thing? I want to know.
Oh. Say that, but anyway.
Yeah, they're not a girl group, Zach.
Yeah. Come on, man.
I was just using my logic that they're girls and they're in a group. That's just
this Zach logic is killing me, man.
Yeah, that's like saying like
G Unit is a boy band, like they're a boy group,
or like a girls' choir is a girl group because they because they're all girls and they sing. Well, I mean, yeah, they do, but they sing like the Hallelujah chorus. That doesn't mean they're a girl group. There's a certain style.
At least he got to 9. At
least he got.
I didn't think he'd get to 8:30.
Yeah, he got girls and he got to 9, so that's pretty good. That's on a curve. We're doing our.
Oh boy,
we have to grade Zach on quite a curve. Hour number 3 of the program is here. As promised, we're going to talk a little Grizzlies to begin this hour. The Grizzlies winners yesterday again. It's just what they do. They just keep winning. 122-102 as they knock off one of the great teams, a team that's just consistently been in the championship mix year in and year out. It's amazing what they've been able to do.
True dynasty.
A dynasty. They beat a team that's, 4 championships and all that. I mean, it's finals appearances all over. They were the finals last year.
Team ran the decade.
That's amazing. So, wow.
Yeah.
To beat them is really. Let me check there. Oh, okay, no, never mind.
What happened? Why didn't I see Kevin Durant running around out there?
Yeah.
Or Steph.
They lost some talent.
Or Clay. Now that you mention it, I didn't see any of the light skins.
Draymond really didn't do much. Did a lot of stuff. He was out there 23 minutes. He did fill up he was all over the place. 3 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 4 turnovers, 3 fouls. You can't say he wasn't doing stuff. He was doing stuff out there. Stuff's happening. It wasn't always good, but stuff was happening. That Warriors team is awful. D'Angelo Russell got hot, so that was something. But otherwise, they just balanced it out. It was a balanced beating, is what it was. Everybody on the team, they lost by 20, and yet none of their players had anything worse than a minus 15. Plus minus, so everyone just bad, but everyone was bad.
Okay,
so that's nice. Nobody shared the. It wasn't one guy getting picked on. It was everybody getting picked on. That's nice. That's beautiful. Grizzlies, again, they've won 5 straight games now. 5 straight games. The last time they won 5 straight games?
When?
November 2018. They beat the Spurs in San Antonio to go to 12-5 last year.
Okay.
And then from there it was all downhill.
All right.
They lost. Only won 21 more games the entire year. Finished 33-49, and obviously fired Jamie Bickerstaff and the whole thing. But that was the high point of the season. Last year was the 5-game winning streak. They lost 3 straight after that 5-game winning streak. We'll see what happens with this one. How many of the players that are on this roster now were on the active roster for that game? The 13-man active roster for the Spurs.
Jonas?
Good text.
1?
You could say it's
1 or 2?
6.
1. I'm gonna go hard 1.
67129 on that text line. I'm gonna throw out a real quick one. We'll give you. This is what I call a flash prize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like that could have been a will question.
Well, it's a flash question. I'm asking you now. You could text in at 67129. You got 5 minutes while we talk about some other stuff. You got the next 5 minutes. How many of the players that were on the active roster, that 13-man active roster for the Spurs game last year, the game that the Grizzlies had their 5-game winning streak, that was their 5th game of the 5-game winning streak, how many of them are on this roster now?
Okay.
We're ready and active and playing last night.
Okay.
67129 on the text. I gave you 5 minutes, and of the people that get it right, we're going to pick one at random. I'll let you know. Zach will give you a call, and you got a little third and court.
I have $20 to Corky's, actually.
Oh my goodness, $20 to Corky.
Some
Beautiful.
Some Corky's bucks for you.
Wonderful.
I don't know why I interjected like I actually.
Well, Zach, you'd be surprised. Their macaroni and cheese is, as the kids say, bussin'. Like, it is good. You can get some macaroni and cheese, get you some hush puppies, get some fries, and be straight.
Filet? Are kids saying that? That's filet?
Are we saying filet?
Filet?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think that's the thing people are saying.
Okay.
I've heard that.
All right. It has not gotten to me yet.
I don't really know what it means, I'll be honest. But
great desserts over there also. The Snoop Dogg messed me up. The pecan pie is outstanding. So
okay. It's a Urban Dictionary says it's another saying for a word used celebration after a spectacular move. So see.
Okay. I'll have to hear somebody use it before I feel comfortable.
I've seen it.
using
I've seen it written out in a tweet or a text or something. In the meantime, while you think about that trivia question, I'll give you, like I said, I'll give you 5 minutes. So it's till 9:15. But now then we'll cut it off. It's a flash. Like, we're just gonna throw these in from time to time. Where you listen to the show, just boom. Are you focused in?
Mm-hmm.
Are you listening? Because you could win. I might just throw this in. You never know. But I'm going to throw out a trivia question. Last night, 31-19 for Jonas Valanciunas in 29 minutes. He was the big boy.
Mm-hmm.
He was the big kid. He was the kid that, is a foot taller than everybody else at middle school. And you're out there playing, and he's just grabbing all the rebounds and putting everything back up and just bullying you and pushing you around. That's him. It was Grizzlies really didn't have to do much offensively because you just throw the ball up and he would just go get it. And poor Smilagic, the young kid who played 7 minutes in the second quarter, I think it was, and he just got. I mean, it was such a bullying situation. I felt bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Jonas just boom knocked him like probably 5 feet out of the lane.
Knocked him from the lane to the bench, like past the 3-point line. My man is standing right next to Taylor Jenkins.
Perfectly legal move. I mean, but he's just so big and strong, and just knocked him into next week. It was crazy. So that was another. It was an impressive performance in the second half. The Grizzlies really, kind of went through the motions in the first half. They were up 1 at the halftime, but then third quarter outscored them 35-17, and then that was that on that. They did the job that they needed to do. We didn't talk about Friday night's game where they beat the Spurs. It was a huge playoff implication type game. To the extent that any game can be huge in playoff implication, at this point in the season, it was that. And Ja Morant was spectacular. 22 and 14 assists in that game. Last night, another double-digit assist game, 11 and 10. Much less prolific on the offensive end, but still, I thought just manufacturing shots at a high level. And so many of his assists can go to Jonas because he just gets the ball to Jonas in such good spots, and Jonas is so good at finishing. I think Ja, just again, another understated, excellent performance. Another 3-point effort from Jaren Jackson Jr., 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks for Jaren. Who is rapidly turning into a 6'11" Ray Allen out here. I mean, it's crazy.
On the topic of Jaren, I think this is like 6'11" Klay Thompson. The way he can hit the three and be an offensive threat to space the floor and go by you, and what he's able to do defensively on the defensive end. Klay is able to usually take on. He has the responsibility of guarding the other team's best player and does a really good job playing defense on them. And Jaren, on the other hand, is just flying around out there. At one point, Jaren switches onto a guard. Golden State is weaving pick and roll or something like that. Jaren switches onto a guard. I forget who it was. I think it may have been D'Angelo. I'm not sure. Guard drives, and Jaren is with him step for step, goes up for the layup. And Jaren just give me that. Just bow, pins it off the backboard, runs down the court, and then hits an open three. Like, we don't see dudes who can do that are also Jaren's size. We talk about it constantly about how good what he is defensively and how good he is at shooting the ball. He is your sharp shooter offensively. And on Friday, the feeling in FedEx Forum was real good. It was electric. It was, you could sense people knew, like, hey, this is for a chance for us to be 8 seed. Whatever that's worth, we want to be an 8 seed so we can say, hey, we're in the playoffs. And you could feel that. And so there was a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation. Every time Jaren touched the ball behind the three, like a hush fell over the crowd. They sensed that he was going to shoot it. And when he shot it, everybody assumed it's going in. Everybody's up out of their seats before the ball gets to the rim. There's legit excitement around Jaren Jackson Jr. by fans as to what he can do offensively, specifically behind the three-point line. We just don't see it from dudes his size. You brought it up. He's running guard action. He's coming off and curling. He's coming off down screens. He's flaring out. We don't see that from somebody like him, man.
You don't see it from a guy of his size.
Yeah.
Even the guys that are your spot shooting bigs, they don't do those sorts of things. Like that's the part that's amazing to me. Like Karl Anthony Towns or Brook Lopez, we've talked about. They don't run them off curls.
Yeah.
You know, they're a standstill catch and shoot threat. They then can drive potentially off a closeout and be a threat, which Jaren can do. But he adds on top of that the hunting the threes, going out and really, seeking them out off screen actions and handoffs. Handoffs. That's stuff that, like dribble handoffs, you don't see these other bigs taking the ball in those situations. But you can invert that pick and roll and allow a guy like Ja to be a dribble handoff and set a screen while doing that, and he can curl around him, or vice versa. Jaren can do the same thing, and they love to get Ja going downhill before the catch so that he catches it and can use that speed to just blast right by and get to the basket. There's just their offense has been so ridiculous. That's the part that's amazing to me. They are, since Christmas, and that's really the kind of the benchmark to me, because it seems like they made a adjustment of some sort of mentally. And I was talking about it the other day at practice. Like, I don't know if it was that specific game against the Spurs where they gave up 145 or whatever, but defensively they seem more locked in, and they just seem like they've made some adjustments. There was the part when Ja Morant came back from his injury. I think that was the 9th December. You could make that as a break in the season if you want to, or you can make the part after Christmas, but whatever. Since for the last month, the Grizzlies are 4th in the league or 3rd in offense in the league.
That's impressive.
They're 3rd. They're 2nd in the last since Christmas in offensive rating. Only the Jazz are better. And in terms of net rating, which is points allowed for minus points scored minus points allowed per 100 possessions. So your difference there per 100. So you have to modify it a little bit. They're 4th in the league in the entire NBA for the last month. I mean, that's like elite level. I don't know if they can keep it up or not, because they got to, after this home stretch, it gets real tough. I mean, real tough. You're talking about playing 10 of 13 on the road, I think. Even the home games are basically like a one game at home and then back out on the road again. So it's almost like a road trip. It's almost it doesn't really feel like a home game when there's only one and you're right back out on the road again. So I don't know if they can keep it up, but my goodness. Their offense, it's something else, man.
I feel like credit should be given to Ja not only for being a spectacular athlete, finisher, point guard, but for also understanding what is happening. There are times now, it happened last night and it happened Friday, where Ja goes to Taylor Jenkins on a free throw. And I feel like those conversations weren't really conversations at the start of the year. It was a monologue where Taylor Jenkins is pointing out things that Ja needs to be doing. Now it is more of a dialogue, and it's a monologue on the opposite end at times. On Friday, Ja's over there talking to Taylor Jenkins, telling Taylor what he's seeing and what he's going to do. And Coach Jenkins is like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And I talked to Ja about it in the locker room on Friday. One of the many times I ask questions for those of you out there keeping track. Like I am. That's 5 questions I've asked on the season so far.
In a press conference, though?
No. There you go. One of the things that Ja said is it's his job to be the eyes on the floor. And what he was telling Coach Jenkins was that the Spurs are sagging off. So what he is going to do is he's going to drive in there, but he's kicking it back out, have everybody ready and willing to shoot, because that is what's going to happen. You saw him get 14 assists in that game. He had 11 assists last night. And the same type conversation is happening where Ja's over there talking to Coach Jenkins about what he's seeing and what they can do to schematically to create more open looks. Ja Morant is just different. He's as a rookie, you're not supposed to be able to do those things. It's supposed to be a learning period, and it seems like that learning period.
There will
was
be,
like,
but right now, yeah, because I think they're gonna crank it up a little more on him. I mean, I think you can expect defenses to start now even more making it difficult for him. I mean, they're going to specifically scheme for him, but I think he can handle it. It's just, but I think there will be there's another level.
Okay.
There's definitely another level to go.
I thought we had hit that level.
No. He's he's already.
What the hell are these other teams waiting on?
Well, he's already advanced to like beyond just a rookie point guard.
Yeah.
He's to now you treat him like a third or fourth year point guard who can make these reads and all that. Then you're gonna see defenses start to take it to now. You start seeing teams, for example, put bigger wings on him rather than the point guard. So now they're stopping and trying to smother him with size. They're mixing up coverages now more often against him. So they're changing their pick and roll coverages in the middle of a game multiple times to be able to deal with Ja. You don't see rookie point guards always get that level of respect from a scheme. So it's going to go up. But I think he can handle it, but I think there is going to be more. I don't think you're going to see some games where he probably will struggle a little bit as that adjustment happens. But it's only going to be good. I mean, the fact that he's playing high leverage, important games, playoff type games, that the atmosphere is like it was this weekend, that's only good for him, man. Going forward, that's a gift. You don't get that as a rookie point guard very often, and for him to excel in that environment, you really don't get that very often. So
live for that moment.
He is just phenomenal. Now, here's the answer for those of you that wondered about our text question. The text question was how many players were on that active roster against the game against the Spurs last year that gave the Grizzlies their 5-game winning streak. How many players that were active that night are a part of the roster last night?
You're giving the answer. I'm going to go 1, and that 1 is Bruno.
You were completely wrong.
Oh!
I mean, you could not be more wrong.
Oh!
First of all, you're missing a very obvious one.
I'm missing Jaren.
I mean, that's the obvious one right there. The other one that's obvious is Kyle Anderson, who played for the
I forget about Kyle
Spurs.
Anderson.
Yes, he's been forgettable this year. Now, that is the answer. The answer is 2. Now, the third one is tricky because it would be Dillon Brooks, you would think, but Dillon hurt himself, and he was out. He missed the majority last year with that toe injury thing. So he missed. He was not active for that game. So the answer is 2. Those 2 specifically. So we will notify the winner. We'll give you a call here during the break, okay? Because we got multiple people with the answer, so we're going to do a little tie break here during the break, and we're going to give you a call. Congratulations to all of you who won, and
you?
Congratulations to all of you who won the fact that you got it right. Extra congratulations to the person who's actually going to win. And if you didn't get it right, then just like CJ, shame on you.
I was one off. I was close. We round up. I was
fine.
good.
We'll take that break. We'll get in touch. Zach will be calling and that's the other bonus for you, the winner. You get to talk to Zach.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a great what a morning it is for you.
Give him some suggestions on girl groups.
Yeah,
because I feel like we're about to struggle.
Yeah, he needs some help. Maybe make a request while you're on the line with Zach. We'll take that break. We'll come back and continue here. Your texts and phone calls on the Grizzlies. We talk about what is to become. Now we're halfway through the season. Now we starting playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, maybe. We'll talk about that when we continue here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Bases loaded here at the top of the ninth. And the pitch. And it's out of here!
We deliver baseball caps, mitts, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
I'm a big fan of Town Village, and there is always something to do year-round. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Another body laying cold in the gutter. Listen to me. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. I know that you're gonna have it your way or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast.
There you go. Is this a request from our winner?
No, this is me.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Such a sad song.
It is. It is. I was thinking about this. They were at the Thanksgiving Day parade, or no?
Yes.
Or were they?
Yeah, it was Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah, and I kept, because they were singing the song, and I kept thinking like it's a very lovely festive thing, and there's the holidays, everyone's out. And I was like, don't sing this song. This song is bringing me down. I can't do it. No, it's
song is about somebody dying because of gun violence and HIV. Somebody dying because of AIDS.
Yeah. It's got the line, another body laying cold in the gutter.
Yeah.
That's not a holiday. That's not hey, ring-a-ding-ding, everybody. No, and I felt like, man, you guys, if that was your song and you had to keep singing it, like your concert, I'd be like, man, this is, I don't know, bumming me out.
Give me some digging on you.
Red Light Special. Let's go.
Oh, let's warm it up on a cold Thanksgiving Thursday.
That'll warm it up right there.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a
guitar and all. Like a guitar riff.
I mean, Creep, no Scrubs. I mean,
what about Your Friends is a great one.
Yeah.
What about Your Friends is one you should be doing constantly.
There's plenty of non-depressing
TLC
hits.
Yes.
If you want to throw out there, come on, guys. Not depressing. Congratulations to our winner, by the way. I think Zach is talking to him right now.
Awesome.
What a
congratulations on $20.
I mean, congratulations on talking to Zach. Really.
Oh yes. Give
and
him a
of course it's
suggestion.
$20 to Corky's, but I mean, really, you're talking to Zach. That's a win in and of itself, right there. Now that being said, we were talking about the Grizzlies and playoffs and playoffs. Yeah, at this point, you got to start thinking about it. And what I would tell people is, I've heard like some weird chatter about the Grizzlies and playoffs and all that stuff. Like, I think people are. I would call it like CWPTSD. That's what I call
there's
this.
a lot of letters going on there.
I call that Chris Wallace post-traumatic stress.
Okay,
disorder.
all right.
Grizzlies have a lot of CWPTSD.
Yes.
I would just say this: he's not in charge anymore, guys. He's not there.
I mean, he's in the scouting department.
He's somewhere. He's somewhere. He's probably not in New Orleans if I had to bet. Going to go to the game if I had to guess. He's not making these decisions. He's not part of the mix. He's not in the loop. He's not near the loop. It's not there. So they're not going to make a Justin Holiday trade. They're not going to trade, 2 second-round picks to get this dude to try to make some run at something. I don't even know what they were thinking last year. Terrible. But they're not going to do it. Okay. If they make a trade that happens to help them in the short term, it would be because it also helps them in the long term. So if they were to make a trade for a player whose contract rights they would want to keep, they want to get their bird rights because they're an expiring contract, and then re-sign them or something like that for the future, then you could see something like that, and maybe that helps in the short term. But what they're not going to do is sacrifice any long-term asset, any young player, any young part of their core, any of that stuff to get older to try to make some kind of run at the playoffs or anything like that. They're not going to do it. So
playoffs?
just
We'll talk about playoffs.
Yeah, you can talk about playoffs, Jim Moore.
Playoffs.
So they're not going to do that. I'm just everyone. I think people think that like them making a playoff push also means that they're going to. No.
Yeah.
Okay. No. It's not going to happen. I feel very confident in saying that. So everybody just cool out. Enjoy it. If they make the playoffs, great. If they don't, great. It really does not matter one iota to next year or the year after that. Only thing it can do is help these players play in more meaningful games at an earlier age, which is great for their development. So thumbs up all around.
So they can actually see what that switch is.
Yeah.
We
get a little
talked
taste
about
of it. Not, you
just a
can't
little.
see it all the way, but
Yeah,
just a
you
little
can
bit.
get-
Just a little bit.
And it's different. We talked some earlier in the year about teams flipping a switch and the Grizzlies just not having any sort of answer for them whatsoever. And the playoffs is a different switch, a different level of intensity, so that when they are like not sneaking into the playoffs, but a legit 3-4 seed in the playoffs, God forbid a 1-2 seed, they don't get overwhelmed like so many young teams do on their first go-round at this playoff run. So it'll definitely benefit them to play meaningful games in that way. But you're right. Like, people are scared.
I'm telling you, man, it's weird. I don't get it. Like
Chris Wallace any day now is going to be like Zach Kleiman is going to take the mask off Scooby-Doo style. Like, Chris Wallace? Yeah. Y'all thought y'all got me. Nope, I've been here the whole time. It is wild.
I mean, you should know based on what they did this summer that you're not dealing with the usual deal, right?
I would think.
I mean, you would think so, but I mean, I understand. Like, I get it. Like, there's some concern about what's going on. Everyone is a little bit nervous about it. Still, think about what they've done this year, and think about where they are, and why would you sacrifice that? Why would you even take? They're not touching the core group. They've got assets that they can move. I mean, really and truly, you could do something involving Josh Jackson, and he hasn't touched the court. That whole controversy has kind of gone away because Grizzlies really don't need him at this point. And I think it'd be interesting to see, but clearly they have a long-term plan, and clearly that plan does not involve him playing right now, and they haven't deviated from that, and they're not going to. So whatever their plan is, whether I agree with it or not, is one that Josh Jackson was. I saw him interviewed. I think Mark Spears talked to him, the undefeated. And he was like, yeah, this feels great. It's my most fun I'm having since AAU. Like, we're having a great time. So he's like, he's not angry or upset or, feeling like he's been aggrieved or anything like that. So I think people got to, I got to say, like, I wasn't sure it was going to work out this way, but so far it's worked out great for the Grizzlies. And they now have a chip that they could trade him potentially to a team that wants to take a flyer. He's played great in the G League. They have the Iguodala thing that's obviously sitting right there. Jay Crowder is. I don't think they would stop. I don't think they would veto a Jay Crowder trade if it was for a really good. But I think I think now the only difference, to me, honestly, CJ, is like I think this may be the difference between like taking whatever the best offer is for Jay Crowder at the break, which maybe they would do if they were just a purely bad team.
Mm-hmm.
And because Crowder has been part of a really good group, now I think it would take a better deal. I think you would have to get something of decent significance, not just like a couple of middle second-round picks and just whatever you can throw out there. I think now they would actually kind of have to get something of decent value, or else, you might not let these guys take a run at it because they've earned it the way they've played.
Yeah, and it's earned. Coming into the year, it is okay at the trade deadline. Let's move all of these dudes. If you're not young, fire sell it and get as many assets, as many different things as we can, so that when we are about to make that first playoff run, we have quality pieces around a core of John Jaren. And then you look up and you're in the 8th seed, you're a couple games out of 500, you're playing really well. The thinking changes and it becomes, this group right here, the team as it is currently constructed, is good enough to get us sneak into the playoffs and play meaningful games, which does wonders for the development. And that's what this season is. This season is a developmental season. If you get to the playoffs in a developmental season, that can only help you going down the line in the future. That helps you more, to your point, than a pick in the 50s. It does. So why would you're not going to give up your Jay Crowders or your Solomon Hills, even your Grayson Allens for peanuts. You're not going to give them up for mid to late second round picks, because it doesn't help you the same way that making a run, playing meaningful games in the first year of your legit studs season, second year of your other legit stud season, it doesn't help you the same way. So yeah, you're right. They may not move anybody but the two that are currently not on the roster, and that's Iguodala and Josh Jackson.
We'll see. We'll see what they do, but I think it's this group has earned that chance to take a little bit more of a run at it. Since Christmas, the Grizzlies overall shooting 50% from the field over 9 games. So it's a 9-game stretch. Shooting 37% from 3 in that same time frame. Jaren Jackson Jr. averaging 20 points per game, 54% from the field, 44% from 3 on 7 attempts per game, shooting 78% from the free throw line, with 2 blocks also per game. In that stretch. John Morant, 54% from the field, 35% from 3, 83% at the foul line, 16 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds per game. So Brandon Clark shooting 56% from the field in that particular time frame, 11 points, 6 rebounds for Brandon Clark as well. And Ja and Jaren, one of the interesting things, if you want to take sections of the season and kind of break it up, I kind of like that. That Christmas is kind of a nice point of demarcation, just because it's number one, it's easy to say since Christmas, then people know when that is, as opposed to since December the 18th or some random date. Christmas, when Christmas is. So there you go. Plus, it was also kind of the time when they had a extensive film session and kind of drew a line under the Spurs game that they'd given up 145 points. Said, look, let's calm this thing down a little bit. From that point on, though, with Ja and Jaren on the floor together. Prior to that, the Grizzlies were 8 points worse per 100 possessions than their opponent with those two guys on the court together. We talked about how difficult it was for those two guys to kind of establish and figure out where to be and how.
Jaren wasn't being used in the pick and roll at all. They were hiding him.
Yeah, they were sort of. He was sort of the off big, and then they kind of. But they would do some pick and roll, but they wouldn't quite know how to do it.
Jaren didn't know where to roll.
Did he roll? Did he pop? Did where Ja wasn't sure where to go? The chemistry was a little weird on the court. So, but from Christmas on, they're plus 12 points per 100 possessions with both those guys on the court. So not only are you playing well, not only are you surprising, but it's your 2 best players, along with other young players who are your guys that are actually leading your team. It's not as if, and Jonas is going to win you some games in these kinds of games, but Jonas, we know it's an up and down situation with him depending on the matchup. But your young players are the ones who are actually driving you. It's not like it's a bunch of vets and these guys are just kind of hanging on. It's not like Jaren was last year with Mark and Mike really leading the show, and Jaren, kind of you're winning because of your young players, not in spite of your young players, which makes this especially exciting. Wow, okay, You're winning because of your young coach that he has made a lot of mistakes and has kind of worked his way into a rhythm as well. But now is making an 11-man rotation comprised of mostly young players. They would be the youngest team in NBA history to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You got to give him some credit for sticking with that system, and because they look phenomenal. And it's not a fluke at this 40 games into the season. It's not a fluke.
And not just Jaren and Ja. We focus on Jaren and Ja because how the hell could you not?
But Melton,
think about your Meltons and your
Brandon
Clarks and your Brooks and your Grayson Allens and what they're able to do and how they're able to contribute, and think like, okay, a bench, because I think we're both in agreement. Dylan Brooks coming off the bench is a much better fit for his game and for what he is.
I think so. I'm starting to kind of change it a little bit. We'll see. I don't know. He's an interesting player though.
He is very interesting. To my point, think about what might be with a bench led by Dylan Brooks, Brandon Clark, DeAnthony Melton. What that does for you as an NBA franchise. It is crazy to think about where this thing could be headed if everything goes according to plan. And there's no reason to think that it's not. I mean, they look ahead of schedule.
Melton is
my
phenomenal.
Quickest hands I've ever seen.
You guys want to hear some audio?
Yeah.
Game?
Yeah.
All right, so this here is the Melton block that sets up Jaren.
This is such a dumb. What are we doing here? What are we doing? How's the guard getting the block and the power forward center hitting the three on the other end of the court?
The power guard.
The power guard. This is backwards. I love it. This is great.
Oh, it was so much fun.
The shooting forward and the power guard.
What?
Yeah.
And they get knocked to the floor by Pascal. Spellman with a Euro. Oh, my! Melton with a rejection. Jaren, a deep three, and down the well it goes for Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yep.
To push the lead.
I need more sound effects from Brevin.
I know, and then you add that to the alley oop that was insane when Ja just kept going up in the air, like they did the slow motion, and he's like you keep thinking he's gonna stop, and he just keeps going up. It's like wow, the elevator goes all the way to the top with this man.
Melton.
Ja Morant, I tweeted this out there, is a living, breathing dagger.
Oh, yeah.
That is waiting at any given moment to stick it in you and end the game. It could be, I'm going to get the game-tying assists and the game-saving block and the game-winning assist in overtime. It could be, I'm going to score the game-winning bucket on a crazy athletic layup. Or it could be, hey, we're up. We've been up most of this game. We're up big still. They're trying to make a bit of a run, though. Let me go ahead and let them know. No. Right now, this door is closed. That is it. Go home.
And it's so infectious. Infectious.
Infectious?
It's, well.
What word are we looking for?
You can feel the energy in the building when
we can feel the energy, but what's the word?
It was an effect. It's so infectious with an A, not with an E. No?
Are you saying infectious?
Infectious?
Affection.
Is infectious? Is infectious a word? Thank you, Zach. Thank you so much.
Affectious.
Are
you saying it's effective and infectious, and therefore
it's rubbing off on not only the players. Yeah,
like
I thought I said it right.
That's infectious.
The I-N.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what it was.
Infect. Not affect. I mean, it does affect things, but that's
or effect.
Effect, and it does affect things too. But those are different words. Infectious.
I was doing so well.
You were. You were. I was wondering if you were going to give us one.
I thought he made up a word where it was both effective and infectious, and therefore it was infectious. I love that. I was like, that's great. You made up the word. He did that. It's infectious.
Ja Morant is an infectious player.
He's an infectious player. There's no question.
And the crowd gets into
and
that
infective as well. He's infective as well.
Mm-hmm. Very infective.
just like Zach is. When we return, we'll because we have to we gotta recover here. When we return, we'll get back into the Tigers and South Florida a little bit and get you set for middays too, which is all coming up next here as we Roll on with hour number 3, presented by Acura of Memphis. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need. From simple repairs to complete overhauls, they have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes, they can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Have you noticed your water heater not heating as well this winter? During the cold winter months, the groundwater is colder and requires more energy to heat the water, and sometimes old, inefficient tanked water heaters just can't keep up. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time for a new tankless water heater with 24 months interest-free, or I'll pay you $300 for that old tanked water heater. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
If you're someone that enjoys a truly great steak, then there's only one choice for you downtown. 117 Prime. 117 Prime has lots of different things on the menu, but the main attraction is the steaks. Prepared by chefs that love a great steak, you can choose from the 5 or 10-ounce fillets, the 16-ounce prime, the 8-ounce top sirloin cap culotte, or the 14-ounce New York strip, or the king of them all, the 24-ounce dry-aged porterhouse. You heard that right, 24 ounces of the best steak you've ever tasted. If you're craving steak, then head downtown to the steak experts. Head to Prime.
Experience true freedom in a Can-Am off-road vehicle. How? Through the Can-Am Holiday Sales Blitz that's happening now. From the valleys to the hills, from the dunes to the farm, they're ready. And they won't let anything get in their way, because this is where you ride best. Get to Olive Branch Motorsports for the Holiday Blitz sales event and get yourself a new Can-Am off-road vehicle at a great price. For a limited time, get up to $3,000 off on select 2019 models. Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road, or online at obmotorcycleatv.com.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I may take a lot of stuff, guaranteed I can back it up. I think I'ma call you bluff. Hurry up, I'm waiting out front. You see me in the spotlight.
This is, there we go.
Show me what you got, 'cause I don't wanna waste my time.
Yes. Hello there. Final segment of the Experience, Sports 56, 96, 187.7.
Give it to me, I'm worth it.
Yes. What? Yes. Go. Now, we had a big day yesterday. Tigers managed to survive against South Florida. Mm-hmm. Wasn't easy. Mm-hmm. I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Oh,
Tigers, yes, no, making the tournament?
Yes.
Seed.
10.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. 10.
10.
Wow.
10.
That means they're going to be sweating it.
Yeah.
That means they are a very much a bubble team.
Yeah.
That means Selection Sunday is going to be a sweated out affair. Like they may not make it.
And it wasn't supposed to be this.
It wasn't supposed to be this. You are correct about that.
Even without the number 1 ranked player in the nation, like you're not supposed to be like creeping into the tournament. You're supposed to be cemented in there. You were voted on by people to co-champion of this conference preseason. You have all of these studs coming in here, so we were told. And for whatever reason, they are not gelling the way you need them to gel.
Do you think Tubby Smith would have done a better job coaching? Forget about recruiting. Obviously, the recruiting, you would never have gotten any of these guys. And that's the biggest part of it. You got to get the guys to begin with. But would he have done a better job of coaching?
Yes.
Would Josh Pastner have done a better job of coaching?
No.
Okay. I was wondering how far this would go.
Yeah, no. It stops right there. We've seen this before with Memphis and certain coaches who go out there. Now, Penny still has time. Penny can still make adjustments. He's made one of the bigger ones starting off this Sunday by making changes to the starting lineup, getting A-Lo in there. The next change I think he'll have to make, though, is to look at that pace of play and ask himself if we are better playing this fast. Because I don't think they are. And you can look at the turnovers and the poor shot selection and see that there needs to be more of an emphasis on slowing things down and taking your time in the half court. They don't make good decisions. The guards don't make good decisions with the basketball when sped up, when playing fast.
I don't know. I do feel. I feel like this team there are solutions. They don't have to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be like this. Your people, but they have got to start running stuff. And I agree with you. Like, I'm not saying they need to turn into Virginia.
No.
But this idea that all the smoke means we got to go out there and we got to just run and we got to play and we got a full court press and we got to do. There were moments this year where the full court press has really unsettled the opponent and has really made them.
Mm-hmm.
It's made it difficult for them. But that's just like a little taste of it. Too much of it is not going to work. And too many possessions when your offense is ranked 102 or 103 in the country, you don't want that many possessions. Your defense is good, but you can't keep counting on it to bail you out after you've turned the ball over 300 times. And that's the other thing, is that as good as your half-court defense is, how many times are you even in your half-court defense when you're turning it over that many times? And a lot of them are, sometimes turnovers are charges or you step out of bounds, something like that. But live ball turnovers, there are a lot of live ball turnovers, a lot of just real bad passes that lead to runouts. And I don't care how good your defense is, when you got run out easy baskets coming out the other side, you can't really do anything about that. So they've got to, for their own sake, slow this thing down and start running some stuff. I don't mean you got to go back to running. We got to pass it 4 or 5 times or 8 times before we get. No, I'm not saying that. You don't have to run weave for 20 seconds and then start doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to have some intention.
Intentional.
You have to have some intentionality of how you're going to play, like how we're going to run this stuff. And your best player, it's always difficult when your best player is a big because he can't control when he gets the ball. And these guards have got to do a better job of incorporating Precious Achiuwa into the mix, because I think people are starting to see now why I've been on Precious Achiuwa Island, maybe by myself for a while, but
I thought you got on the island because you got invited to the island by somebody. I thought somebody pointed out, like, hey, keep an eye on this. The build is where it's at. Did you come up with that on your own? Are you the only one on this island?
No, I mean, he's gonna be a lottery pick, so I mean, I'm not
okay.
but I think earlier in the year, there are a lot of people jumping off. Is what I'm saying. There are a lot of people got on the island, but a lot of people left.
Okay,
and I stayed.
I'm on my way to the island.
There was a storm warning, and a lot of people left the island.
Yeah,
and I hunkered down, and I built up, and I put some board on the housing, and I made sure to keep us storm safe and storm past. And now it's beautiful. The weather's great. It looks great.
Okay,
so you can come join me. But just realize I got the prime real estate because I hadn't left.
Okay, that's cool. I'll be there eventually.
This dude's.
Yes.
He's getting it.
Very much so.
He's getting it. And it's only going to get better. If he can make some free throws, that'd be nice. And that wouldn't hurt. I will say that. I would
3 for 8 is not good.
I'd appreciate it if we just maybe bump that up towards 65, 70% would be nice.
67% the Tigers are on the year from free throw, I think.
Yeah,
so
63%.
Make your free throws
both teams
and stop turning the ball over, and it's a completely different outcome in some of these games.
But gotta bend those knees. Sit in that chair.
Thank you, Jerry Peters. Yes, you're exactly right. Bend those
You
knees.
have to.
Yeah. Tuck that elbow in. No chicken wing. Sit in the chair. Ugh. We got to get out of here. On that note, props to good game for Tyler Harris. Very good. He needed it, and the Tigers needed it, and he stepped up and did really, really well. Kudos to him. They'll talk about this and more on middays, I would imagine. Am I wrong on that, or am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
And along with that, they will have Ron Higgins.
Oh, the Hig Dog.
Brad Logan and Good, Bad, and Ugly.
Ooh, man. Okay.
Also, we got a little bit of Grizz news, just a little bit. They have signed Bruno Caboclo and Marco Guduric to the Memphis Hustle. And they will play tonight against the Santa Cruz Warriors.
Okay. There's your Marco Guduric update.
That's the people were asking, and I have great news for you. If those of you that are down there wanting to watch Guduric play, and I know Eli's excited about it, he gets to call Marco. There you go. Now you got it. Big thanks to everybody out there for listening and being part of the show. Enjoy tonight's game. We'll talk about it in the morning. Till then, y'all be good.
Heater trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning and heating specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their special winter price for a heater tune-up is just $59, and 24-hour service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
If it's time for a new gun, rifle, or silencer, Tactical Guns and Gear in Collierville on Highway 72 is the best place to go. I promise they have the newest, most exciting selection of guns and silencers you could ever want. I don't care if you shoot for fun, hunt, or just need a gun for personal protection, Tactical Guns and Gear has the best selection of firearms